Man, we're finally here. We're live. You're probably like, what are you talking about? Of course you're live. You don't understand what it took to get here this morning. All the tech issues, all the things, but we're here. We're live. We're going to dive into the market, some of our stocks that were moving yesterday, and a whole lot more after we cue the intro. So let's go. All right, welcome back to the live stream. I'm your host, stock market coach and option trader Jason Brown. And man, we were supposed to be live probably like 30 minutes ago. If you're watching the replay, then it won't really matter much what time it is right now. So instead of diving straight into the charts and looking at some of our movers that was in the market from yesterday, I'm taking you to church this morning. Okay, but I'm not regular church. Okay, not the regular Bible, not that book. We're gonna break out Think and Grow Rich because I think what happened this morning is indicative of what happens to a lot of people. Let me explain. First, if you're anything like me, you decide, I'm gonna go live. I'm going to start going live every day. At least that's the goal. I said I want to start going live every day before the market opens. Talk about the market rotation, what's moving, what's shaking in the market, things like that, right? And sure enough, you will be met with some adversity. The moment I'm ready to go live, the mic's not working, the camera didn't do this, that froze, all this stuff, right? I think the same thing is true when you say, I'm going to get involved with the stock market. Your car's going to break down. You're going to get hit with a tax bill. Your kid's going to need $100 for some new thing at school for virtual learning. All of the things are going to come your way and try to stop you from whatever your goal is that you said you want to do. And one of the things that I heard one time that really changed my life, one of the things that I heard was that once you say you want something or you're going to go after something, the universe is going to question how bad do you actually want it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I want to be a millionaire. Universe is like, let's make him get into a car accident, right? And like, let's see if he still goes after it. Universe is, you're going to say, I want to get involved with the stock market. It's like, let's make something break on their car for $2,000, right? You're going to be like, I want to buy a course. I want to learn this stuff. And it's like, the universe is like, cue negative friend. Send negative friend over to their house or something like that. And your negative friend's going to come over and be like, people don't make money doing that stuff. Why would you ever purchase a course or something like that? So anyway, just keep that in mind, all right? And so I'm going to dive into this good book. But before I do, Sandra, good morning. Welcome to the live stream. Carol Haygood is here hanging out with us. Welcome to the live stream. Sean is in the building. Welcome to the live stream. My girl Maria is in the building. Welcome to the live stream. All right, so let's talk about it. First page I opened up. Let's see if it'll, boom. All right, that's the page. That's where we're going today. That's where we're going today. Thoughts are things is where we're going today. Randy's in the building. Good morning. Derek Jackson's in the building. Good morning. All right, that's where we're going today. We'll get to the charts. We'll get to the stocks, but none of that matters if your mind isn't right. And the universe, or should I say, some unknown force trying to work against me, tried to throw my mindset off. So let's get into it. First thing, thoughts are things, okay? Truly, thoughts are things and powerful things at that when they are mixed with definite purpose, definiteness of purpose, persistence, and a burning desire for the translation into riches or other material objects, okay? So it's basically saying your thoughts are things, but only as important as it's mixed with definiteness of purpose and a burning desire. So if you have a for sure purpose, if you're like, my purpose is to feed the homeless or something like that, right? And you catch a flat tire, your thoughts, it's like, if that's my purpose, you like, I might not be able to feed them today, but I'm coming back with double the food tomorrow because they weren't able to eat today. Because if that's your definiteness of purpose, your thoughts are going to lean towards helping you lean into your purpose. Now, if that's not your definiteness of purpose, if that's not what you're sold out on doing, and you don't have a burning desire to help those people, what you're really going to say is, I caught a flat because maybe I shouldn't be in this part of town. Maybe somebody else should be helping these people. Maybe they're doing okay. They found a different meal to eat today. You see what I'm saying? Same mind, same purpose, same person, same event. But your thoughts are things depending on if you know what your definite purpose is, and if you have a burning desire to get there anyway. I got a burning desire. I feel like my purpose is to make financial literacy simple for people like me who got tired of all the fancy talk, who got tired of not seeing people that look like me on TV, always thinking it had to be an older white guy in a suit. That's literally what I grew up thinking. And so I feel like my purpose is to break that mold, is to show that there is diverse range in investing and also make it simple for the everyday purpose. So when I'm met with a challenge like the microphone not working, I had to reboot the computer, all this stuff. And then I'm like, I didn't lost like half the morning. I was supposed to be live at 9:30. So I'm like, maybe I'll just go live tomorrow. And then I say, that's exactly what the enemy wants you to do. All right. And the enemy is not like a real person. The enemy is anything that's basically trying to destroy your dreams. Anything that is standing in the way as a roadblock from your definite purpose. That's the enemy. It's not like actual person. It's not really actually your negative friend. It's like this unseen force that said, cue negative friend, cue car breaking down. In my case, cue the mic not working, right? And then cue frustration. Let's go ahead and send a little frustration in there and see if it'll still want to go live. You know what I'm saying? But it picked the wrong person today because we here. We here, baby. We live. All right. So let's take a look at the charts. Let's look at some stocks. We got our mind right. We went to church this morning. We brought Think and Grow Rich with us. Let's get into it. All right. Where's the DJ horn? All right. We ready. Let's do it. Okay. Now, yesterday we were looking at the top movers and gainers. Let's just go there again. Let's look at the top movers and gainers today, and then let's take a look at some of the stocks that we were looking at the previous day, which were pretty much all in the non-fungible token space. If you don't know what that means, go watch yesterday's video because it's pretty interesting, all right? So let's go there now. Boom. So today, oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, my drawing tool, is working today. You see, if you keep coming back day after day after day, life just has to lay down and surrender and be like, let the boy do his thing. Let him go live. Let his tools work. All right, so here we go. Top gainers today. In my opinion, I don't know why it's sorted like this, but forget this guy, forget this guy, forget this guy. I want to go here again, right? Dolphin, DLPN. Why? Because we looked at DLPN yesterday. We looked at it yesterday. All right, so let's go over to our WEBULL charts. Let's take a look at our watch list. Where's my watch list? Boom, right here. All right, so we created a watch list called non-fungible tokens, right? And so DLPN was one of the ones that I said, could it be the next TKAT? And if you're not familiar with TKAT, basically TKAT, which is Takung Art, but the ticker symbol was TKAT. The stock kind of went crazy. It's pulling back today. But the question was, could DLPN be the next TKAT, right? From a movement standpoint. So if we go back down here, if we type in TKAT, let's catch people up to speed who was not with us the other day. Okay, so this stock went from, as you can see here, being like a nobody. All right, you know what? Let's move this over a little bit so we can see the price numbers. There we go. Okay, and should I take my head out the way? Let's take my head out the way. Okay, this stock went from being a nobody, like literally almost left for dead, a under $5 stock, and then boom, in literally, what's this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, went as high as 74.11. Okay, so we looked at that and said, okay, let's take a look at DLPN. Could this be the next TKAT? Because we saw there was a non-fungible token type company trading at $5. Then we got this spike yesterday. All right, so we got the spike, and then boom, now we got another pop today. Now I'm not a big fan on coming in and buying this stuff after it's moved really big. So one of the key things that you want to focus on, especially if you're a trader, because there's a difference between trading and investing. If you're a trader, one of the things you want to focus on is getting in early or getting in on the first day of the move, which is why we were kind of looking for like what stocks are moving pre-market. And then do we think we'll get a second day pop the next day? And then do we have an example of a stock in either a similar industry or similar sector that came before the stock that we're looking at that we can mirror or model to say, do we think this stock is going to do something similar? Not quite the same thing, but do we have an example of what could this stock do something similar to the other stock? So that's what led us to DLPN, because we were looking at TKAT, and then we saw it, boom, break up. And now we found another stock in the same space that was moving yesterday. So you technically, what's the point here? Technically, you could have, I'm trying to give you the theory so you can be a better investor or a better trader. Technically, had we entered DLPN yesterday, we would have been along for today's $8, $10 pop pre-market. We could have took that money, grabbed it, snatched it, and just got out. So I'm trying to give you the theory on how we would have put that whole thing together. And then after we took the money, we'd be done with. That's what I used to do in my day trading days, which I might bring back, by the way. I'm hoping that's making sense. Let me know in the comments. Does that make sense? That whole little breakdown of how we found TKAT first from what's moving. Then we said, what are some equivalent stocks in that same sector or industry? Found some of those that are moving, but hadn't quite took off just as far yet. And now we said, let's watch these. Could this become the next TKAT? And sure enough, at least one of them is starting to move like that, which is DLPN. Very interesting. My buddy Charles here said, yes, sir, Charles. At 12 o'clock in Elite, we will be talking about some day trading strategies. So yes, glad to see you here hanging out. R.A. Tori says, makes sense. Carol Haygood says, makes sense. Awesome. My man Randy in Elite says, I'm with you. Cool. Let's go back to the charts. What's moving and shaking? So that was like yesterday's stuff. We were just following up on what is it doing today. Let's go back and see, is there anything else that we should be paying attention to? Also, if you like this platform, I'm using the WEBULL platform. You can visit thebrownreport.com/WEBULL, open you an account, you get a free stock, I get a free stock. And it's a really good platform to use. It's one of the ones that I'm starting to feature more because I'm starting to see that inside of our university, we talk about some of the advanced software and advanced platforms that you can use. But I'm starting to notice that the beginner trader may not need that advanced stuff out the gate. They need simple. So there it is. By the way, speaking of Power Trades University, you guys know we got our own university. If you don't know, here's just a quick sneak peek into the back end of it and what it looks like. You can introduce yourself. We got courses. We got options explained, advanced options, masterclass. This is our elite mastermind. The forums are always rocking. You can click into there, see what all of the members are talking about. A lot of cool stuff going on in there. All right. So let's get back to WEBULL and let's get back to talking about what's moving and shaking today. All right. So top gainers, let's just click on that and see what's going on here. I like to look at my top gainers by per dollar change. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily by percent, because if you look at this on a percent basis, it's going to say, oh, this had 132% change, but the last price is $2. So in order for this to move 132%, what was the price before that? It was like, what, $1 or 80 cents? You know what I'm saying? So nothing crazy. So a stock going from 80 cents to $1 or $2 is like 130% return, which is not bad if we believe that this is the beginning of a bigger move, right? So let's just take a look at HOFVW. Let's just rock with that theory, HOFVW. On the daily, they look garbage. 12 down here to 1. Oh no, it's up to $7. Huh. HOFVW. Am I pulling that right? Yeah, HOFVW. So this is interesting. They're saying the last price is $2 here. Same platform, but I go to more so the streaming version and it's trading right here. Now, why is this important? This is a very important part that I want you to catch. Why could there be two different prices? You're probably like, I don't know. This is the problem that most traders run into, guys. Here's the problem that most traders run into, especially if you're a beginner trader and you're an amateur. There's one version of the platform that gives you what's called like the free data, right? It gives you the basic data, which is typically delayed by 15 minutes. Then there's the side of the platform that gives you what's called streaming data or real-time quotes. And so sometimes people can put in an order and say, how come I didn't get filled? Or, it was trading for this. Next thing you know, it was trading for $7. It was just at $2. I missed it. It's like, actually, the quotes are delayed for 15 minutes on that version of the platform. So it's actually been trading for $7. You just couldn't find out for another 15 minutes, which is a deadly mistake that most traders don't understand or that they make, is by not, if they're using the free tools, they don't know how to use them, or they don't know the drawbacks or limitations of the free tools. And then they also don't know how to get the better tool. So let me bring in quote unquote a better tool that I really like just to kind of prove a point. So I am going to pull up that same chart, HOFV. I'm going to share my screen here in a minute. Don't worry. I know you can't see it. HOFV, Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company. So if I pull this up, now let's share the screen. Boom. So now if I pull it up using this, you can see like real time as well. This is where the stock gapped up at. And then this is kind of, boom, where it's trading at right now. So there has to be something that's weird about HOFV from this one, HOFVW. So wait a minute. That could have been my bad, but that was still a valid point though, that sometimes there's delayed quotes on the other side. Now, in this case, I'm going to own my slightly mistake. I put in the wrong ticker symbol. So in this situation, I was correct that the stock was trading for 80 cents or something like that before the market opened. It was trading down here because today is what, the 24th. So the 23rd stock closed at 86 cents and then, yep, gapped up. Now it's trading at $2. All right. So, but the point is the same. Sometimes when you're using Robinhood or some of these different apps, you don't necessarily realize that you're on a delayed quote system, which means they're going to give the best price to somebody else who has a faster system, because we're looking at real time what it's going for. So as you keep upping your price for something, you might be buying it at a higher price than you should if you're not using the right tools. All right. Carol says, I've been pondering on WEBULL. Thanks for the confirmation. Yeah, and be sure to use our link in the description, or my team will post it inside our private Facebook group if that's where you're watching, on our Facebook page. But it's actually just thebrownreport.com/WEBULL. Somebody from my team can post that in the live chat. That'd be great. But that will allow you to get a free stock. You'll get a free stock. I'll get a free stock. So you come out the gate a winner. You already come out the gate with free stock just for trying it. And I think it's one of the simplest platforms for new people. All right. El Marie says, I'm enjoying the fundamentals, or the fundamentals course right now. Thank you. Glad you're enjoying the fundamentals course. We really put a lot into that course. In fact, it is the most overlooked course because some people come into the game, be like, I already got the fundamentals, already know what I'm doing, this, that, and the third. And really, they don't, okay, because you don't know what you don't know. And it's not until they take that course and go back, it's like, okay, I need to humble myself and realize that there's always something that I can learn. All right. Um, Winged Century said, "Hi, first time from old man from the old country, Haya. I don't know where Haya is at, but man, thank you for joining us all the way from Haya." All right, Magusha says, "Is this a correction or a crash?" Well, Magisha, I hope I'm saying your name right. If I'm not, please forgive me. I'm just reading this on the fly. Is this a crash? I think we need to look at the charts and break down what a crash is and what a correction is, okay? So let's go back to the charts. Let's pull up the S&P 500. Let's get into it. All right, is this a correction or a crash? Look at the S&P 500. All right. Boom, let's go S&P. Okay. What you guys will notice is I use different tools for different things. And so I'm going to click on over here, and then I'm going to put S&P SPX. Boom. So the S&P 500, if you look at it and you zoom out, okay, this is what a crash looks like. Okay. That's what a crash looks like. We don't even have anything close to that type. This is just an orderly pullback in the market. So at least at this moment, there's no crash. You know, I don't know. I think TV always uses the word crash. You know, the market's crashing, but like if you actually take a step back and take a deep breath, we're in a bona fide uptrend. And then if you zoom out even further, I don't know if you guys can hear that. Those are my kids in the background. But anyway, if you zoom out even further, right? Yes, you have. Now, this may be considered a crash, but big picture, the market goes up. Crash. Okay. So big picture, no, we're not in a crash. I would dare to argue and say we're in a correction. The market is just pulling back. I don't even think the market's really pulling back. It's just the market's not going higher. So we're kind of stuck in this BS scenario right now where like things aren't moving up, but they aren't moving down. And so in these times, you'll hear me tell our members, like, there's not much to do right now. It's like you can get funny and busy hands and want to start doing a bunch of stuff. But the reality is there's not a whole lot to do right now. Unless you're selling covered calls, meaning you own stock or you own some longer term options, and you can sell some covered calls and bring in what I like to call rental income, which is a very interesting strategy right now. But technically, there's not a whole lot to do. Naked puts are a decent strategy right now if you are willing to buy a stock if it gets put to you, but if it doesn't fall far enough, you just get to keep that premium. So there's some interesting things that you can do in this market. I always wanted to try this. So let's do this. Let's bring in CNBC. Let's see what's going on with them right now. I always wanted to see, can I bring in live stream? Can I bring in audio, video, and we discuss it as a team? If the Fed is speaking, can we bring it in and analyze what Jerome Powell is talking about? So I'm testing this. I'm having some fun. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we can bring in CNBC.
for the right reasons.
Yeah, well, we'll keep monitoring that. Of course, it is an important component of the overall normalization, so to speak. Greg, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you much.
Still to come, we take you live as Jerome Powell and Janet Yellen answer questions from the Senate Banking Committee. And then don't miss the interview of the day. New Intel CEO Pat Gelsinger joins Squawk Alley in his first TV interview since taking the job last.
Okay, so we all know that lately the biggest thing that's been happening, and maybe we would have caught it a few seconds ago. One of the big things that's been happening, right, is Chairman Powell talking about the interest rates. You got Janet Yellen talking about same thing, interest rates, inflation, stimulus. Then how are we going to pay this money back? When are interest rates going to rise? They obviously said that they're going to keep interest rates flat, I believe at least till 2022 or 2023, I believe I saw, till 2023. But at some point, we have to raise the interest rates. At some point, we're also going to get taxed, whether you're a trader, especially if you're a person that makes over $400,000 in the market, which is a seminar I went to the other day where they were talking about if you make over $400,000, you need to be getting prepared for how you're going to, what's the correct word? I don't know if shelter? Yeah, tax shelter, that's legal. If you want to start looking at how you're going to shelter some of your income, because you know when it comes time to paying the stimulus money back, what are they going to say? The rich can pay a little bit more. So basically the rich, quote unquote, right, which is anyone who makes over $400,000, which that ain't really rich. You're doing decent, but it's not rich. They're going to tax everybody making over 400,000. They're probably going to squeeze the W-2 worker a little bit too and say, oh, we're going to take away this tax credit, that tax credit, that tax credit, because at some point we got to pay this money back. Now, why is that important to the market? Until that happens, the market is chugging along. But I want you to think about it like this. Let's just say a company's earnings, right? They made $1 million in earnings. I'm just using simple numbers. Well, if the government, so if you're buying a stock, if the stock price is based on the earnings per share and how much this company has made, and you're buying the stock, well, if the government comes out and say, all of those companies, C Corps, have to pay an extra 10% in taxes, all right? Or we're going to remove this and that. Well, if those companies do the same amount of earnings, $1 million, well, now they actually just made, what would that be? 9 million, right? Not 9 million. I apologize. They made 900,000 because 100,000 or 10% is just going to get shaved off the top in money that they just have to pay out the window to taxes. So a stock that was maybe trading at $50 just kind of took a 10% haircut. Does that make sense? Took a 10% valuation cut. I don't know if that's not necessarily the whole company's value went down for 10%, but at least their earnings per share is going to take a 10% haircut because $100,000 just went out the window for no reason other than taxes. So business was good or business stayed the same. However, on the books, it looks like they made less, or to Wall Street, they actually made less, $100,000 less because of the new expensive tax. So once that hits, I think at that point, we also might need to be prepared for a pullback. I think that's also where you start to see the rotation come out of technology stocks as well, because those are some of the most forward PE ratio paid for stocks. If you're not familiar with what a PE ratio is, that's the price to earnings ratio. So the price of the stock compared to their earnings, that is how much they're paying for the stock. Like if it has a 10 PE ratio, you're paying 10 times the company's current earnings. So you're paying 10 times what you believe they'll earn in the future. So you're paying 10 times forward earnings. Well, if you're paying 10 times forward earnings and then a new tax bill comes out, and now that forward earnings is going to get reduced by 10% for no other reason than taxes, well, you don't necessarily feel like that stock is valued at that same price anymore, which may cause a sell-off in most likely what would be forward high stocks with high forward PE ratios, which is typically tech stocks. I hope that makes sense. I'm trying to explain this to you the best way I can. Let me know if that made sense to you. All right. We'll take another question, then we'll get ready to wrap up because I think it's been a good enough information shared already, right? So JD Gleck says, would you sell out of the money options right now on your energy calls? Mines are getting hammered. It's a good time to sell out of the money calls on anything, whether you own stock, whether you own other call options, because yeah, everything is pulling back right now, or at the very least going sideways and then kind of going slightly down. It's like one day we're up $4 or $5, next day we're down $4 or $5. One day we're up 5, you're like, yes. Next day you're down 3, next day you're down 2. So the market is kind of sucking right now. And so one of the best things that you pretty much can do for yourself is sell that risk to somebody else so that they're taking the ride with you. If you don't know how to do that, we teach that inside the Options Explained course and the Advanced Options course. But spreads right now, I think, are saving grace. Now, if you think about the market long term, eventually we go up. The market has, let's go back here and pull up the charts of the market. When you really think about it, we have rebounded and we have come back from the whole COVID-19 thing, and the economy for the most part is reopening. So if this was the COVID sell-off, we are beyond the COVID sell-off and everything isn't even fully reopened. Everything isn't even fully back into play. So I don't really see why the market would crash if we were doing good before COVID hit. And now we have a vaccine and we have the economy reopening, but it's not even fully reopened. And we haven't really fully realized manufacturing, spending, hiring coming back. I think that tends to lead to the economy will boom, but then we'll have to deal with inflation. We'll have to deal with paying that money back. But I don't think that that's going to outweigh the fact that once we reopen, people want to spend money, people want to go to work, people want to take vacations. I think there's going to be so much money pumped into the economy if we can hire people and bring them back to work at the same pace. I think it's going to be good long term. So short term, things are kind of sucking right now, at least for the last 30 days. The market's just been wonky. But I think long term, all of these equities, or should I say, a lot of these equities go higher, but some may reach some turbulence because of what could happen down the road with taxes. But I don't think that's going to happen this year because they'd be a fool to do anything that would stunt the recovery while we're still trying to navigate. We're not out of the pandemic, but we're navigating our way outside of the pandemic. So there it is. Let's continue the conversation down below in the comments if you're watching on YouTube. If you're a Power Trades University member, this video will be posted inside the back of the U so we can continue the conversation there, look at stocks, discuss where we think the market is going. And everybody else, be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification so you can get notified when we go live. And I'll see you guys on the next live.